I want to talk about why I have some confidence in the UNI token. I mean, I've made other videos about why I am concerned about governance tokens, and UNI is a governance token. I've talked about how it's difficult to really be confident about any of these DeFi applications because it's so complex and moving so quickly. Despite all that, I have some confidence in UNI for a couple reasons. One is, they've shown continued leadership. They just continue to be the biggest, which is key. Now we got to watch because it can change quickly. But if you see here, Curve, tends to gain and then falls back. Sushi Swap, again gains, but certainly hasn't taken over by any means. And if you look at the numbers here, I mean, 7-day volume, Uniswap is significantly bigger. And as far as the governance token goes, I think they've done a good job at distributing the token fairly. And what we've seen with governance tokens, the idea of giving a dividend or giving benefits to the governance token owners, I don't know, months ago, I thought, well, will that even happen? Will there be any profits that'll ever go to governance tokens? It looks like there will be, and not only in the long run, but possibly the shorter run. So I'm not so scared of governance tokens as well. But the main thing that I keep sticking with, and I usually don't like speculation. I like to bet on, like, if everybody thought Uniswap was the worst and it's the biggest, then that's the type of thing I like. It's like, oh, I'm not predicting it's going to be the biggest. It is, and no one realizes it. That's not the case here with Uniswap. But what is the case, I believe, is Uniswap is coming out with their version 3, which will be an exchange using the layer 2 technology on Ethereum. That is, they'll be able to do thousands of transactions per second, almost for free, instantly. And that would be an amazing advantage. And, everybody's working on layer 2, but Uniswap, I believe, was one of the first movers, and they have some of the top developers. And Hayden, who the founder of Uniswap, he talks to and listens to Vitalik Buterin. I am pretty optimistic that optimistic rollups are going to be great, and that Uniswap is going to be one of the first out of the gate. And so, although today, and there's another point to that. So today, we look at the two competitors, Curve and SushiSwap. I don't think SushiSwap is coming out with their next version on layer 2 anytime soon. Now, can they just copy, the code like they did on this original version on a layer 2? I don't know, and my hunch is that it's not that easy. It's not as easy as layer 1. There's probably a lot of tricky integration beyond just copying code. Maybe not. If nothing else, Uniswap does have the first mover advantage and will have the first mover advantage. So then they're able to gain on Sushi's attempt to catch up here. And then Curve, if you understand Curve has an interesting algorithm in that they focus on dollar, stable coins. People like to call, I hate the term stable coins, dollar pegged tokens. They focus on those with an algorithm that's more efficient than Uniswap's for dollar pegged tokens. And so, although Curve only is sort of focused on dollar pegged tokens, or primarily focused on that, that's the biggest volume tokens. So they grabbed a bunch of share. But I believe also in Uniswap's upgrade, I think they're going to do something, sort of copy what Curve has done and steal some of that volume. Then they're going to have incentives with the UNI token, which the UNI token has been doing great, has good value already, so they can use that to incentivize volume. I think when Uniswap launches version 2, I think Uni's going to explode higher. That's speculation. I usually don't like to do speculation, but in this case, and again, I wouldn't put all your money in it, but this is one I have a little bit of excitement about. And I feel this is one of these things. I don't feel like anyone's talking about how awesome it's going to be if this layer 2 applications roll out and work. I mean, there's risk there that it doesn't come for 6 to 8 months or 6 to 12 months. I'm hoping that it comes out. I don't know. I just saw Synthetics talk about, they're working on their layer 2, and they're an early mover as well. They're working on it for the first 2 quarters really hard. I was like, shit, I thought they were going to come out with it in the first quarter, let alone working on it in the first 2 quarters. So maybe this upgrade is going to come slower than we expect. That's the risk there. But even with a slower, the other thing you could do if you're conservative is have your finger on the trigger finger, and as soon as you hear V2's launching, jump in. Granted, I would think the token would jump on that day a lot, but still, at least you don't have that risk of seeing how it goes. And also, well, okay, enough on that. Another thing, Uniswap versus Coinbase. In September and August, Uniswap had a number of days where it did more volume than Coinbase. Recently Coinbase has sort of pulled away. Apparently there's some giant whale buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase, which is running up their numbers nicely. But Coinbase's valuation and their IPO, I don't know. With everything that's going on now, I thought it would be 10 billion. Then I was like, maybe 15. At this point, maybe it's going to be 20 billion valuation for Coinbase. Uniswap's valuation right now is like 1 billion. I don't think that Uniswap is 1/20th or even 1/10th the value of Coinbase. I think it's a lot closer. So again, that's a sign that UNI token is undervalued. And I was just going to point out too, UNI's got this, I've mentioned this before, what do you call it? Oracle. I believe Uniswap offers Oracle business that anybody can just go and use. And I'm not an expert on these oracles, but my understanding, Chainlink has done a great job. First mover, they're really good at offering oracles. But it is a corporation. It is not a decentralized system. It's a corporation that does a great job at providing these trusted oracles. But Uniswap is a decentralized system that anybody can tap into to get this oracle price information. And you can see that Uni has taken a decent size of the market share. They've got 44% of call contracts, whatever that is. Let's see, and number of calls, they have 30%. And, they just launched the thing, I don't know. Well, it was V2. Not that long ago. So, I don't know if that's a reason to want to buy Uni, but I feel like it's been a leader, continues to be a leader, and with a big upgrade right around the corner, I like holding a little and hoping we get a little lucky. And, I like providing liquidity on Uniswap for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, because the two kind of move together. You can make some extra yield. And when the version 3 launches, I bet they're going to give incentives to be a liquidity provider on the new system. And so you might want to be ready for that as well. And then you get some free Uni for moving over. I bet they'll use Uni tokens to get liquidity providers, incentivize them to move to the new platform. So we'll see. I like it. It's kind of exciting, and if this plays out, not only is this great for Uni, but if we see a successful layer 2 application getting a lot of volume and excitement, I think that just fuels a whole big DeFi rally in general. So, seatbelts required. And we'll see what happens. All right. Thanks.